Yeah, we need to fix this. Hello there. Today I'm gonna see if I can solve a problem. And the problem is this. Like there's a bunch of angry chickens trying to get out of the heater matrix. Yeah. Not only is it annoying in here, but it's actually embarrassing on the outside. Ist eine deutsche Automobile! Yeah. German car sounding like this. Unforgivable. It's starting to show up now. There we go. Ay, 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 ay. Yeah, I wouldn't want to sit 10 hours in this cab. This one is gone. Nicht gut. Nein. What I found. Spinning my thing. Noisy spinning my thing. I got it out. It was a bit of a comedy session. I'm gonna cut this section short here because it was a bit confusing and it took a long time, so I'll show you how I do it better the second time. Got the motor. The fan has a set screw on the side, and you need to take the whole set screw out because there's actually a lip at the end of the shaft, so if you leave it in, the fan won't come out. Luckily I took it out first try. So once the motor is in this state, I think we can clean it up and give it a new sort of lubes. But yeah, the fan came out by basically putting the fan, resting the fan on the bricks and then smashing and bashing it until it came out. I used a thing called the shock and something release, so it's a cold spray, and I think that thanks to that, it came out. It was sitting there very, very snugly. So yeah. Something like that. I tried to heat it, but the shape just makes it burn very quickly. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay, enough of that hand lark. That's the problem, and I believe that problem is pretty much unfixable. The motor has rivets in it and other things, so the best solution is to try to find another motor. But for now I'm gonna put some grease on there and hope that at least the noise stops. It's never gonna fix it, but it might make the drive in the cab bearable until a permanent solution has been found. Sometimes you got to take what you got and make the best of it. Let's hope we can find a better motor. But yeah, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And then it was time to refit the greased up motor and housing. However, I just could not get those screws in the right spot. It felt like I was trying and they just would not see. I got it out, back and in, and it was so frustrating. I think the sun set several times before I got it right. Anyway, I'll show you the other one later. Okay, moment of truth. Okay, moment of truth. Yeah, that's better. At least that horrible noise is gone. Obviously it's not perfect because there's about a millimeter gap in the bushing on the shaft. So yeah, that'll do for now. At least we can power through winter with the fan on, and we can keep our windows shut. That's always an improvement. So I think that's gonna do it for today. It's finally time to replace the cab fan motor. I believe I have all the right stuff. You need a new motor that doesn't come out of the box at the moment. You need a new fan housing, and then the upgrade includes a filter, and the filter requires a bracket, and because we're on a budget we got a pre-loved bracket. Yeah, so let me show you them in detail. All the items are genuine Mercedes parts except for the filter, which is a hi-fi filter. I don't know if this is a low pass or high pass, but I know that the filter is located quite high up. It's about head height, so it might be a high pass cabin filter. And it does say that it's a habitacle filter. So I don't know what sort of tackle you have, but that's what it is. It's part number SC5009. It looks like that. And it should mount on a pre-loved bracket as such. So yeah, and that was the bracket. As you can see, it's got some pre-loved rust on it, which is all good because you don't want brand new rust. And then you have the housing. This is not from an estate, so it's just a regular housing, and apparently this is because the motor is upgraded. It's like so. Now I'll put it there. There seems to be some form of a juju going out on the interwebs about that you need to get the Bosch one. That don't get the Vallejo one, get the Bosch one. And I understand that. I would have liked the Bosch one, but this is the Vallejo one. Ooh,
whoa, hang on a minute, Yoka. Time out, let me explain. When we first realised that our fan motor was failing, we decided to consult the powers that be on the interwebnet and to see whether or not there was anything we could do to salvage our fan or whether or not it did actually need to be replaced. We quickly found out that our model fan had been made obsolete a number of years back and it needs to be replaced by not only a new motor but also a new housing as well, and they were quick enough to give us the part numbers that we needed to order, along with instructions that we absolutely had to make sure that we bought the Bosch fan and not the Vallejo one, as the Bosch fan was the better unit and it was the one that had the better durability. So I contacted our Unimog parts dealer, who confirmed that I did have the correct part numbers, and a few days later our fan and motor arrived. I initially thought there'd been some form of mix-up on the parts that we'd been sent, because the fan motor had Vallejo branding on it, and I was expecting to see Bosch branding, because that's what we'd been told to order. Now, I don't want to be one of those people who just complains. I like to make sure I've got my facts in order, so I did a bit of Googling and managed to find some shops who were selling it online, and I could see the photos of the branding on there, and I could see Vallejo on it. So I was comfortable that I had the correct part. Now, I'm not sure what's happened here. I don't know if Bosch used to supply this fan and Vallejo supply it now, or whether or not it's a Bosch Vallejo dual source. I really don't know. But what I do know is that we couldn't order a Bosch fan. We ordered a Unimog fan, and it was up to Mercedes which fan we got sent. Anyway, I hope that clears the confusion up. You can get back to the install now, Yoka. It'll be a breeze from here.
Anyway, the new fan seems absolutely no better than the old one, because again, as far as I can see, the bearings are not replaceable. So hopefully it'll last. I mean, the Unimog is from 1987 and it's 2020 at the moment, so I think it's lasted quite a while. I don't know how long it's been making a noise, but yeah, hopefully the filter in front of the fan should help it stay healthy a little bit longer. So I believe that the fan drops in there, and that should be it. So now we just need to put it in the truck. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Right, let's see if I can remember how actually to take this off, because it is a while ago since I did it, so I know that this duct needs to be pushed that way, hopefully taken all off, and then this needs to come off, and I believe there's some brackets and things like that needed to come off, so I should actually go back and look at the footage of me taking it off, but you know, laziness and all that. So here's the process. First you need to slide the duct to the left. There is 3 M6 bolts, 2 on this bracket and 1 further down the side. That allows you to slide the duct to the left. To remove the fan housing, first move the fluid reservoir out of the way. Then you need to cut all the cable ties that hold all the cables that are around there. Then you need to remove the bracket that holds the wires and the reservoir. That's 2 M6 bolts. Then you need to disconnect the fan motor, and then the fan housing is attached with 3 Phillips head bolts, 2 at the bottom, 2 at the top. Once that's done, you can wiggle the fan housing out of the truck. And in my case, I also moved this reservoir a little bit just to give me a bit more space. And then it's time to prepare the new fan housing. First you pop the clips off to separate the halves, and then you need to fit the cab filter bracket. You need to drill 2 holes in for it, and in my case I also wanted to fit the Torx bolts, you know, just because that's how I am. A bit strange though that it's missing a drain spout that the old housing has got. I might 3D print that later, but yeah, it's missing it. And it's also missing the 4 screws that actually hold the fan motor to the new housing. And then I thought it was time to fit it. But was it? And here you can see me fit half of the fan housing. And at some point I got this feeling that I've experienced this BS before, you know, déjà vu. And yeah, don't fit half of it because you can't put the clips on. Put the halves together, put those little clips on with a little bit of grease, and back to the truck. And then, as the famous workshop manual brand says, refitting is the reversal of the removal. The new casing has got a bracket here for the reservoir there, so that one goes in there, whereas the old one had a metal bracket that stuck out from here. But by removing this metal bracket, I'm also removing the ability to fasten these cables here. So I chopped this bit off this bit, so now I can screw that back in there, and I'll have the ability to zip tie the cables onto this bracket instead of just having them dangling there like a dirt diggler or something. And then it's time to put the electricery spaghetti back into place. When you're using the zip ties, make sure that there's no strain on the cables and that there's no rubbing. Try to avoid the rubbing. This is not the place for rubbing, okay? Sucks. Okay, so the fan is installed, the filter's installed, the bracket's installed, the cover's back on, all the cables have been zipped up, and let's try it out. Third speed, full speed, second and first. So yeah, seems to work well, and there's a considerate amount of air. Right. Should we see if she starts? What a beauty.